Alright, so now we're back on the installing a new auger on the laser screed. This will be the part 2 of the first one where I took the auger off. But since the last video, I didn't do much. I took and I went and put my new bearings on, and I put these little pieces in the middle, which would be like the little bushings. Keeps your concrete out, which is actually these. I had one spring that was bad. It actually was coming through. These things get wore down over time. And it had a little, it stuck through the back. So I took and swapped it out. I think this is, yeah, that's it. That's one that come out of. So I swapped it out, put another old one in. We don't have new ones right now, so. But if you get a spring that goes bad, or if you lose one, you can buy these little spring kits at Lowe's. And what I usually do is I just take one of these long flimsy ones. You can see I got one cut here. And I'll just take and, let's see, make sure I can get this propped up here. Yeah. I'll just take this and I'll stretch it out to about wherever I think it needs to be. Pull that out. Before you get about the same length of your other spring, just cut you a piece of it off. No big deal. Pretty simple. Turn your little ends in right here. Keeps it from catching. Like this. Might be a hair smaller, but it don't really hurt. You can always stretch it, make it a little longer, but the thickness of it's a little smaller, but it don't matter. It'll still work, still do the purpose. As long as it'll go in there and keep you slack. All right. So, on the last video I took, when I was taking my bearings off, I pulled this bearing off this side. Well, whenever I was taking it apart, on the inside, I pulled this piece out from between the bushing and the bearing. I thought, well, it's a washer. But I didn't remember it being a washer before. But like I said, it's been a couple years since I've done it. So I decided to clean the bearing up and see what's going on with it. And sure enough, I go bragging about our bearing. It's always been good, but so I guess it's a good thing I did change this auger out to get a, but yeah, that's part of my bearing, so. But main thing is that bearing there's lasted for probably about 2 years. The main thing is just keep them greased, keep them clean. We always, these things, I guess if you own a Screed, you know, on the side here, they have a built-in pressure washer. So, I mean, it's actually pretty nice. And there's your one. You just hook your hose up, hook your water in here. And I mean, they got a built-in pressure washer, so there ain't no sense in not keeping them clean. You got your on and off switch here. Rev your motor up and turn that. Kicks on your pressure washer, so there ain't no sense in not keeping them clean. I mean, ours ain't perfect clean right now, because I mean, we got grease everywhere, but the more grease you keep, the less concrete you got. All right, so anyway, I replaced both bearings. I put it down, I let it down to the floor. I went ahead and put the new auger up here. As you can see, I don't have none of the shims or nothing. I just put the nuts on each side to hold it up. So what I normally do on the washers, I just split the difference, get them both about the same. On the other end, I checked my shims, and it's got 2/4 and about 1/8. So I figured I'd do the same on both of them. The reason the shims, you have to use the shims to keep your augers level, is we normally change out our augers whenever they get wore down. As you know, over time they'll wear, and the bigger the rock you run through them, the quicker they wear down. One end always wires more than the other. The end that's pushing the most is usually the one that wires down the most. If you look here, let's see if I can get it over here. That one's about 1 inch and 5/16. Yeah, if you hold it up there straight. All right, that's on the outside. If you'll check down through your augers, you'll see. Get it zoomed out there. That's about 1 3/4 inches. On this end, it gets a little bit smaller. See on that one there, about 1 5/8. We usually swap them out. We don't let them get no lower than 1 1/4 because if you do that, then it's not really pushing like it should, you know. So that's what we usually try to keep an eye on. That one still got a little life on it. So, but I'll put it this side and we'll put it back on later. This one here, the boss wanted to put a new one on because he wanted to. We got a new customer coming up with they want some pretty good numbers on their floor. So we'll put a new auger, new bearing to get adjusted, get everything set up for it. But I've got my auger in place. Like I said, I've got the 2 nuts, which is holding it on. Here's my shims right here. And then on my washers, like I said, I'll just take and split the difference on them, get them about the same. So what I'll do is, I'll run, let me find my impact. I'll take my impact and I'll run these up. I'll run one side up, usually 1 nut, and then I'll put some washers and then loosen it up and put more washers. And kind of just work it up like that. All right, so if you'll bear with me for a minute. Let me get my, all right, so let's run this one a little bit. So, I don't know how many I can get on there. So like about 2. Well, 1 went rolling off, so. All right, let me get that and tighten up. Listen to this one. Sorry about the camera, guys. All right, let me use my other finger here and hold that. All right. Let me get my other washer. One of them rolled off over here. I think it's on there. Yeah, there it is. All right. This video might be a little longer than the last one. But if it is, I apologize for it. But sometimes it takes a minute to get this stuff done right. You know what I mean? Guess if I don't mess around and hit the wrong button and cut it off. All right, now, get that started. Now let's loosen this one back. All right, so we're gonna start with 3 shims for now. We're gonna go with a 2/4 and an 1/8, which would be 2/4 would be 1/2 inch, and an 1/8 would be 5/8. All right, put my little bushing back on here. This right here, every now and then these right here will start wiring towards the tip. So what I've done is I just went up here and it's aluminum. I just drilled a new hole in, back a little further, give you a little more slack because you can see how it started to bulge out where the pin was about to break through. But that's no big deal. That's just giving you a little pointer. Push things up for now. Get them snugged up. All right. So let's go to the other side. Get my hammer. All right. Tighten this up. Now let's about that, guys. Let me get. I'll put 3 on and the nut. Stick it on top of that. Yeah, it's tricky doing this stuff in one hand. All right, so I got 3 washers. You just pretty much work your way up. Loosen that one down and get more on it. I'll get my bigger stack over here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get them all on there. All right. So let's put all the washers on. I think I can get them all on this one. That one go on the opposite side. So let's see. Okay, let's run this one up. Take them all off. Like I said, this takes, it works better if you got 2 people doing this to kind of help you, you know, hold stuff and move stuff. You can put a jack under your auger too and help raise it up and down. That helps. I went the wrong way. Dummy. Hold on. Sorry about that. Anyway, I dropped the nut. I had to take it back up. All right, let's get this one. Let's see. All right, now. So I've got 2 quarters and an 1/8, but I've got a quarter here. So what I'm gonna do is take that quarter out. I'm gonna put these in here. On these, they'll get a little boogered up right here on the sides, where the concrete on the back side, it ends up wiring them down. You can see how it's kind of rounded. I always just take a grinder whenever they get boogered up. Just take a grinder and hit them a little bit. Kind of clean them up. Sorry about that. All right. Knock the shims in. Put my guard on, plow guard. Now I'm gonna run these up. Oh my. Got them snugged up, so my plow's back on. Or not my plow, but my auger. Here's your plow here. Anyway, we'll adjust that here in just a second. I'm gonna show you how to adjust it. I'm not gonna start my machine because it makes it so loud, but I'll walk you through the steps on how to adjust it and what you have to do. All right. So I've got everything up top zeroed out. I've got my slope on 0. I put me a level across the top up here, up the boom, to make sure that I'm level side to side. That's an important part. All right, so what you do, pretty much, let me get my cream. Let's see, let me find I'm gonna take care of this. All right, my tape measure. So here's your vibrator. What you do, you got your vibrator on the front, your auger, and then you got your plow. All right. So what you want to do is you want to take a 1/4 inch shim. So I can do this one, 2-handed. All right. So what you got to do is you can crawl under it. And you want to take your level. You want to put you a 1/4 inch shim between your auger and the level. All right, and you push it up against your vibrator. All right, and then what you do back here is you measure your distance on your plow. You don't want no more. It says keep it between 15, 16 and 1 inch, or 3/4 and 1 inch. So right now I'm setting on a 1/2 inch. Okay, that's on this side. So let me pull this down. Let's roll down here to the next side. So I'm a 1/2 inch over, I need a 1/4 or better. All right, so check this side. Now, put my shim. All right, golly, I'm way low over here. All right, so got it up against my vibrator. 1/4 inch shim between your auger. Okay, now on this side, as you can see, my plow's about 1 inch. So I'm pretty low on this side. So what that means is I need to add more shims here to bring my auger. No, my auger needs to go up. That'll bring me closer here. So what I'll do, actually, I may go ahead and put a shim on the other end, bring it down, and it may bring this up just a hair. While we're looking at that, let's go ahead and check our length wise. Let's see what we got. What we're holding. All right, if you'll see there, that shows that looks like this end needs to go up. So yeah, that'd be right. Take a little out of that, put a little in that, should bring us about right. So yeah, in theory, what you want to do, just remember to put your shim in here, 1/4 inch shim here, and then you'll run it out to your vibrator, and then you'll measure your distance here. You want anywhere from 3/4 to 15, 16, something like that, 1 inch. You don't want no more than 1 inch. What that does, that allows how much gets under to your auger. If you get too much, then whenever you do pull it through, it'll bubble up on the front side of it. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take let me go. All right, let me put one in this side. I had a 1/2 inch gap. I'll put let me go over here. Let's see. Let me get another 1/4 and a 1/16. That'll give me about 7/16. That should put me right around 11/16, close to 3/4. No, it put me on, now it should be around 13/16, give or take. Loosen that one up. Easy breezy. All right. Put a couple shims in. Like I said, you want to do this with it running. Right now, I'm just trying to show you what you need to do to get your auger adjusted. It's not hard. It just takes a minute, you know what I mean? Let's see. What did I put in? I put a 1/4. Yeah, I put a 1/4 and 1/8. Okay. So, now I'll get my level and measure it again and see what we got. You pretty much want your auger to be level long ways, and you want it to be to where you got about 1 inch gap. If you get your augers, if you get your plow the same distance on both sides, you can also come over here. There's an adjuster here. You loosen this up and you turn that, and that when you turn that, it raises your plow up. Or if you loosen this, it'll bring your plow down. So if you get both sides, say a 1/2 inch, and you needed 3/4, you can tighten this down and bring the plow up a 1/4 inch. That would, you know, it just helps you. As long as you got your auger level and your plow's running about the same on both sides, like I said, a 1/2 inch or 5/8 on both sides, you just need a 6 or 1/8 or 1/4, something like that. You can adjust it. It's got an adjuster on both sides, right here. And then after you get that set, basically what you want to do is kind of a little tricky here. All right, let me get my me get my... All right, so what you want to do on that? All right, this piece here, I guess you know that if you mess with Screed, you already know this is where you set your grade at, right? All right, so what you want to do, let me, I'm gonna put this on the stand for a minute. But what I gotta do is I gotta push this down, and then I gotta put my level across from my auger with my 1/4-inch shim to my vibrator, and then make sure that this touches. Make sure that that's pushed down against my level. And this, my level should be, let's see, the top of my level, which is this part here, this part here, should be flush with the top of this piece here. So your level is actually gonna be up to the side of it like this. Once you got that, then that tells you the height, the top of this is set to the bottom of your auger. Make sense? All right, give me just a second. Put your shim on your auger. Run it up. It's kind of a little bit of an angle here. It's kind of a little tricky to do. Basically, run it up like that, then you have to push this piece down. Which, see right there, I'm showing that I'm about 1/4 inch low. You got to bring this piece up 1/4 inch. So basically I took and put my shim under the bottom. Let's see, let me get on my creeper, see if I can do it that way. I can kind of hold stuff on my legs. Sorry about all the jumping around this morning. Stuff's kind of a little tricky to do one-handed. Holding the camera, you know what I mean? All right, let's see. Put that on here. Put that out there. All right, I got that pushed up. All right, you can see I got my 1/4 inch shim. I got this coming out to the edge. Then what you'll do is you'll pull this down. I'm gonna push my level up to it. You want that to be flush right here. This part flush with the level, which I'm just showing them a tad bit low. So this piece would have to come down maybe 1/8 inch. All right. But once you get that set, you get your auger level, you get your distance. Like I was saying, you put your level up against your vibrator, put a 1/4 inch shim under your auger, in between your auger and your level, and then you measure to your plow. You usually want 3/4 to no more than a 1 inch. And then once you get all that, you put everything, put your motor back on, and you're good to go. Thanks for watching. Sorry this is long, guys. Hopefully it helps somebody.